I had just boarded the private jet my adoptive mother arranged for me when I saw on my phone over a dozen missed calls from Shen Qinghuan, along with countless unread messages. The press conference starts in half an hour. When Nian, where are you? Do not say I did not warn you. If you do not show up tomorrow, I will never let you touch me again. As I read the woman's increasingly furious messages, my expression remained utterly calm. I switched off my phone. I pulled out the SIM card and tossed it out the window. As the plane slowly rose into the air, I closed my eyes. Goodbye, Shen Qinghuan. Goodbye, my biological parents. From this day forward, we have nothing to do with each other. Meanwhile, at the press conference, after sending countless WeChat messages, there was no response. Shen Qinghuan finally lost her patience and called me again. Unlike the unanswered calls before, this time, a cold female voice came on immediately. Sorry, the number you have dialed is powered off. Shen Qinghuan's face instantly turned livid. His parents hurried over. Qinghuan, did you reach Wen Nian? Shen Qinghuan shook her head. Mr. Xia's expression darkened too. Mrs. Xia was so anxious that she burst into tears. There are so many reporters waiting outside. If Wen Nian does not appear, they will be even more convinced Xia Chen is the Fake-Heir. Mr. Xia put an arm around her to comfort her. Do not worry. Although Wen Nian was raised in a disreputable household, with no manners to speak of, his feelings for Qinghuan are sincere. If Qinghuan tells him to come, he would not dare refuse. Mr. Xia spoke with absolute certainty, but Shen Qinghuan froze. A few days ago, she might have thought, just like Xia's parents, that I would definitely come for her. But recalling how cold I had been toward her these past few days, even rejecting her when we were intimate today, Shen Qinghuan suddenly was not so sure. An inexplicable irritation rose in her heart. I will go find him. Just as she was about to stand, her assistant rushed in. Ms. Shen, your husband, Wen Nian, is here. Shen Qinghuan's eyes lit up. She hurried outside in her high heels. But when she reached the door, I was not there. Instead, there was a sharply dressed man. The man spoke politely. Ms. Shen, I am Mr. Wen Nian's lawyer. I am here to represent him at today's press conference. Shen Qinghuan's face went cold. Where is Wen Nian? The lawyer answered with a smile. Mr. Wen is unable to attend. Unable to attend. Shen Qinghuan frowned. Is he sick? Just then, Xia's parents came out as well. When they saw that I had not come in person, their faces turned livid. What is Wen Nian trying to pull? He actually sent a lawyer to brush us off. Is he deliberately trying to make the media misunderstand? Enough. At a time like this, we can only let his lawyer clear things up for him. Otherwise, the reporters outside will speculate even more wildly. By then, Xia's parents and Shen Qinghuan all believed I had sent a lawyer to speak on Xia Chen's behalf, to prove Xia Chen was my biological older brother. The lawyer did not explain. He simply stepped onto the stage. Hello, everyone. I am Wen Nian's attorney, Wang Zi. I am here today to announce two matters. First, Mr. Wen Nian has severed all ties with the Xia family. From this day forward, he and the Xia family have nothing to do with each other. The moment he said that, the entire room erupted. Xia's parents' faces instantly turned livid. Attorney Wang continued. Second, Mr. Wen Nian has begun legal proceedings to divorce Ms. Shen Qinghuan. Shen Qinghuan jerked her head up. She was too stunned to react, but the reporters erupted first. Amid the chaos, bodyguards rushed over to shield Shen Qinghuan. The group hurried away. Meanwhile, I arrived overseas. The moment I left the private access passage, I saw hundreds of men in black standing into rows. They shouted in unison, Welcome home, young master. My adoptive parents came over and embraced me. Wen Nian, you came back too suddenly. Otherwise, I would have rented out every public square to celebrate. I sighed helplessly. Dad, you are so over the top. My adoptive mother hugged me, her eyes brimming with tears. No matter what, you are home now. That is all that matters. Then she looked down at me, and her brow furrowed again. It has only been a few years, and you have gotten so thin. How exactly did the Xia family and Shen Qinghuan treat you? As she said those final words, a chill flashed through my adoptive mother's eyes. Though I had not told her much, she had already sent people to find out how, over the years, Xia's parents and Shen Qinghuan had treated her precious son. At that thought, my adoptive mother boiled with rage. Son, are you certain you do not want your father and me to avenge you? You should know, whether it is the Shen family or the Xia family, we could make them pay without lifting a finger. Of course, I knew my adoptive mother was not exaggerating, but I gently shook my head. There is no need. They are all strangers to me now. I meant it. To me, Xia's parents and Shen Qinghuan, they felt like people from another lifetime. They had nothing to do with me. I would not care about them, nor would I grieve over them. I did not even feel like taking revenge. I had already wasted for precious years on those people. From now on, I did not want to waste another moment. With that thought, I put an arm around my adoptive mother. Mom, I want to eat the pasta you make. Let us go home. I got into the car first. Only after I left did my adoptive father ask, Honey, are we really letting them off like this? How could we? They bullied Nian like this. How could I possibly let them off? Darling, go make the arrangements. My adoptive mother's expression was icy. 1 month from now, we will personally take Nian back to Huaguo. I will make those people pay. The press conference in Huaguo ended in chaos. As they left the venue, Chen's face was deathly pale. He grabbed Shen Qinghuan's hand. Qinghuan, Nian really is trying to ruin me. Now the whole world knows I am not the Jia family's heir. I will have no home anymore. Shen Qinghuan frowned slightly. Her mind elsewhere. But I am not their biological son, after all. Chen choked up. I want a real family of my own, but my biological parents abandoned me. You are the only one I can cherish. Shen Qinghuan froze. Looking down, she found Chen gazing at her tenderly. Qinghuan, I know you have had feelings for me all these years. It is only because of your marriage to Nian that you could not be with me. Now, Nian has asked for a divorce himself. Can we finally be together for real? As he spoke, Chen put his arms around her, trying to kiss her. But Shen Qinghuan went rigid. She had once looked forward to being intimate with Chen. Even during sex, he was the one she thought of. But now that Chen was truly kissing her, she felt no excitement at all. Instead, she inexplicably thought of me. She thought of my sun-kissed skin and firm chest. Shen Qinghuan abruptly stood up. Chen looked up at her in disbelief. Who said Nian and I are divorced? As long as I have not signed, he is still my husband. With that, she got out of the car without looking back, leaving Chen alone inside. His face was deathly pale. Shen Qinghuan rushed home. Nian, get out here. She screamed my name, demanding that I come out and explain the divorce. But the house was silent. Has he not come back yet? Shen Qinghuan's brow furrowed deeply. She summoned the driver. This morning, when Nian left the club, did he not come home? The driver froze. Ma'am, sir did not come home. He went to the airport. Shen Qinghuan froze. Her expression changed dramatically. What did he go to the airport for? The driver had not expected such a strong reaction from Shen Qinghuan. He was startled. He stammered. I do not know either. I thought you knew, ma'am. Wait, I remember now. Sir took a call in the car. He seemed to mention going home, and he called someone mom. Shen Qinghuan froze. The mother he called was clearly not Mrs. Jia. That had to be his adoptive mother. Her pupils contracted. At last, she understood. He had gone back overseas. She hurried upstairs. Sure enough, she found that my identification and passport were all gone from the study. Her face turned deathly pale. He was not only divorcing her, he was also going back overseas. Her heart suddenly clenched. She immediately turned to her assistant. Get a private jet ready at once. I am going overseas. Shen Qinghuan's assistant was about to arrange the private jet when Mrs. Jia unexpectedly called. Qinghuan, where are you? Do you know Chen tried to take his own life? Shen Qinghuan's hand stiffened around the phone. The jet would take time to prepare. So she told her assistant, have the private jet ready. I will be at the airport in about an hour. Understood. Which city overseas are we flying to? Shen Qinghuan froze. She suddenly realized. She only knew that my adoptive parents lived overseas. She did not know which city. Perhaps I had mentioned it before. But she had never truly listened to me. Irritation surged through her. She said, first, investigate every flight today, going overseas, and find out which city Nian went to. Yes, Miss Shen. When Shen Qinghuan arrived at the hospital, Chen was in a frenzy. You might as well let me die. The whole world knows I am a Fake-Heir anyway. What is the point of living? Shen Qinghuan used to think. This side of Chen had always made her pity him. But today, she only found him irritating. She inexplicably thought of me. No matter how badly I had been wronged, I always endured it alone in silence. I never cried or made a scene, never burdening anyone else. It felt as though something had stabbed her heart. She walked into the hospital room and heard Mr. Xia's indignant voice. What exactly is Wen Nian trying to do? First, divorce. Then, cutting ties with us. Wonderful. Now everyone is even more convinced we abused him. Maybe he did it on purpose. He wants everyone to think we mistreated him. He is so young, yet so vicious and calculating. Shameless. Had she not heard it herself, no one would have believed that a mother in this world could speak of her biological son that way. Mr. and Mrs. Jia looked up and saw Shen Qinghuan. They immediately asked, Qinghuan, have you found Wen Nian? If you have, make him come here at once and kneel before Jia Chen to apologize. Shen Qinghuan grew even more irritated. He has gone overseas. What? Only then did Mr. and Mrs. Jia freeze. Mrs. Jia was the first to recover. He went back to find his adoptive parents. What an ungrateful wretch. We are clearly his biological parents. Why would he go back to those poor adoptive parents? Let him go back if he wants. In just a few days, he will come crawling back in disgrace. I refuse to believe he would give up his position for those poor adoptive parents, rather than remain the Jia family's young master. Is that so? Shen Qinghuan frowned slightly. But he really is divorcing me. As she said the word divorce, her chest felt even tighter. But Mr. and Mrs. Jia burst out laughing. Seriously, Qinghuan, you really believe he wants to divorce you? It is obviously just a ploy to make you chase him. Before Shen Qinghuan could respond, her assistant walked in. Ms. Shen, I check. None of the flights heading overseas today had Sear's name on the passenger list. Mrs. Jia sneered. Did you hear that? I told you. This divorce, this trip overseas, it is all an act Wen Nian is putting on. Mrs. Xia's voice dripped with contempt. But beside her, Shen Qinghuan quietly breathed a sigh of relief. Thank goodness, he had not left yet. Shen Qinghuan felt restless. She was about to come find me when Father Xia's phone rang. What? The call connected, and Father Xia's face changed. Star Group is ending all its partnerships with us. Shen Qinghuan stopped in her tracks. Father Xia hung up, then looked at her anxiously. This is bad. Qinghuan, Star has suddenly ended every partnership with us, including those with the Shen family. Only then did Shen Qinghuan's expression change. Star was a major conglomerate. For the past few years, both the Jia and Shen families, more than half of their business came through Star's companies. If Star ended its partnerships with them, they could even face bankruptcy. Over the next few days, Shen Qinghuan was busy dealing with Star, while searching for me as well. She had thought I was simply throwing a tantrum and would return in a few days. But several days passed, and I still had not returned. Shen Qinghuan summoned her assistant again. Are you sure Wen Nian did not go overseas? The assistant replied. I checked every flight. Sear's name was not on any passenger list, except for one private jet, whose passenger list is unavailable. Shen Qinghuan froze. A private jet? The Jia family would never give him a private jet, and my jet has not been used. Then it could not have been him. Still, Shen Qinghuan remained worried. She was considering going overseas herself, when Father Jia called her. Qinghuan, Mr. Wen, accompanied by the Wen family's manager, will arrive in Huaguo in a few days with his wife and son. This is our chance. The Wen family is one of Europe's largest ethnic Chinese conglomerates. Shen Qinghuan's people had previously discovered that the funding behind Star Group came from the Wen family. Shen Qinghuan had tried several times to meet Star's director privately, but never succeeded. Now that the Wen family was coming in person, this was their best opportunity. Only then did Shen Qinghuan abandon the idea of coming to find me herself. 3 days later, at the largest hotel downtown, the Wen family was holding a banquet. Nearly every important figure in Huaguo was gathered there. As Shen Qinghuan's male companion, Jia Chen arrived with father and mother Jia. When they got out and saw the stream of luxury cars, they were stunned. Several of Shen Qinghuan's close friends had also come. Wow, as expected of the Wen family. What a grand display. I heard they brought their son with them this time. The Wen family's only heir. He is a truly eligible, wealthy bachelor. I cannot wait to see what he is like. As everyone discussed the Wen group's heir, Shen Qinghuan turned and saw a familiar blonde, blue-eyed woman. The woman approached Shen Qinghuan with a smile. Miss Shen, we meet again. Shen Qinghuan's face instantly turned cold. What are you doing here? The woman before her was the foreign blonde she had seen with me before. The woman smiled and handed over a business card. Then she spoke fluent Chinese. Our last meeting was too rushed. I did not get the chance to introduce myself. My name is Catherine. I am Star's manager. Today, we can discuss the withdrawal of Star's investment. Mr. Jia quickly asked. Qinghuan, you know someone from Star. Shen. Qinghuan looked uneasy. I saw her with Wen Nian before. Mr. and Mrs. Jia were completely stunned. They clearly had not expected me to know Star's manager. Such an important person. Then, Mr. Jia suddenly realized something. Wait, Ms. Catherine, your sudden decision to end partnerships with the Shen and Jia families. It is not connected to Wen Nian, is it? Catherine raised an eyebrow. Before she could speak, Mr. Jia anxiously continued. Ms. Catherine, I do not know what that unfilial son Wen Nian has been telling you, but whatever he says, please do not believe him. He is simply jealous of his brother and throwing a crazed fit. The more Mr. Jia spoke, the more convinced he became. After all, Star had worked with them for so long, and their partnership had always been pleasant. They had always been extremely generous. They could not possibly end every partnership without cause. But if I was close to Star's executive, then it all made sense. After I inexplicably cut ties with them, I must have deliberately smeared the Jia family's company, which was why they ended the partnership. The more Mr. Jia thought about it, the angrier he became. His words grew increasingly vicious. That Wen Nian is nothing but dead weight. It was bad enough that he caused trouble for this family every day. Now he is even meddling in our business. Ungrateful bastard. When he comes back, I will beat him to death. At those words, Catherine's expression turned completely icy. Mr. Jia, if you utter one more word of nonsense, do not blame me for being ruthless. I was concerned the Jia family might not have enough cash flow, so I planned to withdraw our investment gradually. But if you dare say another word, I will pull every last cent immediately and bankrupt your family. Hearing Catherine defend me so fiercely, the Jia family and Shen Qinghuan were stunned. Finally, Jia Chen gave a cold laugh. Ms. Catherine, if I remember correctly, you are only Star's manager, right? He said coldly. You are not Star's true owner, yet you abused your authority for Wen Nian and canceled our partnership outright. Are you not afraid your client will be furious? For a man like Wen Nian, you would even throw away your lucrative career. What exactly is your relationship with Wen Nian? As he spoke, Jia Chen glanced at Shen Qinghuan beside him. Sure enough, her expression darkened. But upon hearing Jia Chen's words, Catherine laughed aloud. You are right. I am indeed only a manager at Star. She spoke coldly. But ending Star's partnerships with the Jia and Shen families was the order of Star's chairman. Shen Qinghuan said coldly. Who is your chairman? Let me meet Star's chairman. I am afraid that will not be possible. Catherine wore a strange smile. However, President Shen, have you not met Star's chairman before? Shen Qinghuan froze. When? Over the years, Star had been her company's largest client. But every time she met with them, she only saw project managers. This was even her first time meeting Catherine, Star's manager, let alone the true boss behind the scenes. Catherine gave a mocking smile. President Shen, do you still not understand? Star's true chairman is your soon-to-be ex-husband, Wen Nian. What? Jia Chen was the first to laugh. Ms. Catherine, what kind of joke is that? He is a pauper who spent years outside the family. How could he possibly have money to start a company? I think you to have an improper relationship. You are only spouting this nonsense to avenge him, are you not? The people around them began laughing as well. It seems Wen Nian really found himself a powerful backer. A woman is actually protecting him this fiercely. Shen Qinghuan's expression grew uglier and uglier. As they continued mocking him, a black stretch Lincoln suddenly pulled up. It was a limited edition model and stood out even among all those luxury cars. Everyone stopped in their tracks. Then the car door opened, and a figure in a black suit stepped out. Someone gasped, that is a couture suit from House C. It has not even appeared on the runway yet. I have only seen it online. Wow, that must be the Wen family's heir. The crowd grew even more curious. Even Shen Qinghuan could not help looking over. But the instant she saw his face, she went completely rigid. The others recognized him as well. Mother Jia blurted out in shock. Wen Nian. The man getting out was me, after I had been missing for days. I did not notice Shen Qinghuan and the others. I was on the phone with my adoptive mother. A few days earlier, my adoptive parents suddenly told me they had business to handle in Huaguo and wanted to bring me back with them. I did not think much of it and came back with them. But to my surprise, my adoptive mother had arranged a welcome home banquet. I do not like these kinds of occasions, but I could not refuse my adoptive mother. So, during the day, I visited the orphanage where I had lived as a child, and donated a great deal of money and supplies. By the time I arrived, the banquet was about to begin. I hung up and was about to go inside, but someone blocked my way. I looked up and saw Mr. and Mrs. Jia. Nian, where have you been all this time? Mr. Jia snapped. And how much did you spend renting this car? Do you think your parents' money grows on trees? Clearly, Mr. and Mrs. Jia simply assumed I had paid for this car with their money. But even the car they gave me could not afford a car that expensive, so they assumed it had to be rented. Even that made them furious. You said you were cutting ties with us, yet you have no shame about spending our money, Mrs. Jia said coldly. And those clothes you are wearing? Jia Chen cut in from the side. That outfit cannot possibly be bought. It is a knockoff, right? Mrs. Jia immediately exploded. You are wearing fakes to an event like this? Are you trying to humiliate the Jia family? Come home with me now. As she spoke, Mrs. Jia tried to shove me back into the car, but I shook her off. I told you, we have already cut ties, I said coldly. So, do not touch me. With that, I turned to leave, but a slender figure suddenly blocked my path. I looked up, startled. It was Shen Qinghuan. She spoke coldly. Nian, where have you been these past few days? And why are you dressed like this? What exactly is your relationship with that Catherine? Only then did I look away. None of your business. It had only been a few days, but as Shen Qinghuan looked at me, it felt like a lifetime had passed. She had always known I was handsome, not in Jia Chen's pretty boy way, but with the rugged appeal of a real man. But back then, the Jia family never bothered to buy me anything nice. I only wore Jia Chen's cast-offs, and none of them suited me. Now I looked as refined and regal as a prince. What had I been doing these past few days? I glanced at her and said flatly, when you have time, sign the divorce papers. Earlier, my lawyer told me that Shen Qinghuan had been refusing to sign the divorce agreement, although I could still divorce her by filing suit. I could not be bothered with more complications. Therefore, I wanted Shen Qinghuan to sign the papers as soon as possible. Shen Qinghuan's pupils constricted sharply. Nian, why are you so determined to divorce me? Is it only because I would not let you touch me all these years? She was about to lose her temper when a banquet staff member approached. Excuse me, everyone. Could you please show your invitations before going inside? Their group had been blocking the entrance. Noticing all the curious looks around them, Shen Qinghuan forced herself to calm down. Go home first, she said coldly. I will deal with you after the banquet. But I sneered. What home? Can you not see I am here for the banquet too? Shen Qinghuan's friends could not help bursting into laughter. Nian, you know what kind of event this is? This is the Wen family's banquet. Do you know who the Wen family are? One of Europe's largest Chinese-owned conglomerates. Meanwhile, the staff member at the entrance finished checking everyone else's invitations and came over to me. Sir, your invitation. But I did not take anything out. Shen Qinghuan's friends laughed even louder. Mr. Jia, flushed with embarrassment, snapped. Nian, do you think renting a car and wearing fake couture gets you into this banquet? Stop humiliating the Jia family. Get home now. If you have any conscience, go beg Catherine for mercy. You ungrateful brat. Do you really want to watch the Jia family go bankrupt? As she spoke, Mrs. Jia tried to drag me away again, but I shook her off. Your problems have nothing to do with me. I do not have an invitation. I looked coldly at the staff member before me, but this banquet was thrown by my parents for me. Why would I need an invitation? The scene fell deathly silent. But then, Shen Qinghuan's friends burst into loud laughter. A banquet thrown for you? Are you saying you are the Wen family's only son? Ha ha ha. Nian, everyone knows you are the Jia family's country bumpkin. We have not seen you lately, so we had no idea you had gone for treatment for delusions. But it clearly did not work. You are still dreaming in broad daylight. They laughed until tears streamed down their faces. Mr. and Mrs. Jia were livid, their faces turning purple. I think you really have gone mad, blurting out such nonsense. Mrs. Jia roughly grabbed me and snarled, get back home. Mrs. Jia handled me with shocking brutality. Shen Qinghuan's face darkened. She was about to intervene. But at that moment, an authoritative voice suddenly rang out. Everyone instantly fell silent. They looked up to see a man and a woman emerge. Someone gasped, it is Mr. and Mrs. Wen. Everyone's expressions changed. Mrs. Jia hurriedly composed herself. Mrs. Wen walked up to them. Seeing the red marks on my wrist, Mrs. Wen's expression turned icy. What happened? Mrs. Jia opened her mouth to explain, but Jia Chen spoke first. It is nothing. My brother was being immature. He joked that he was your son. Though I was the one supposedly talking nonsense. What if it dragged the Jia family into this? Mr. Jia hurriedly said, "We are so sorry. There is something wrong with my son's head. Please do not hold it against him." Mr. and Mrs. Jia watched the Wens nervously, but the Wens' expressions only grew colder. How ridiculous. Mr. Wen said coldly, "I watched when Nian grow up. How could I not know if there was something wrong with him?" A heavy silence descended. Before anyone could react, what did Mr. Wen mean by that? Mrs. Wen had already pulled me into her arms. She tenderly rubbed my injured wrist. "My precious son, are you all right?" The words "my precious son" froze everyone in place. Jia Chen was the first to recover. He blurted out, "Wen Nian, your adoptive parents are the Wen family." Only then did Mrs. Wen look up. She said coldly, "What adoptive parents? To us. Wen Nian is our own son." Her words confirmed Jia Chen's suspicion. Everyone stood stunned, especially Shen Qinghuan. Those friends who had always mocked me went pale with fear. The country bumpkin, was actually the young master of the Wen family. Remembering all the cruel things they had said, they were terrified. They rushed to apologize. I frowned slightly. I was about to say I had long stopped caring, but my adoptive mother spoke coldly. "If you do wrong, you pay the price. Do you not even understand that?" Everyone fell silent again. My adoptive mother said coldly, "You who insulted Wen Nian, bring your parents to apologize in person. As for you," my adoptive mother looked at Mr. and Mrs. Jia and Shen Qinghuan with a cold sneer. "Wen Nian is soft-hearted. He only canceled your partnerships. But I am not so soft-hearted. I will see every one of you go bankrupt." Mrs. Wen kept her word. With ruthless efficiency, she cut off the Jia and Shen family supply chains. The Jia family teetered on the brink of bankruptcy. Mr. and Mrs. Jia waited outside my hotel every day, hoping blood ties would soften my heart. But Mr. and Mrs. Wen made sure they never even got the chance to see me. Shen Qinghuan, however, was not so easily defeated. She fought to keep the company afloat on every front, but it took everything she had. Every day left her overwhelmed. One day, as she left the office, she saw Jia Chen waiting for her. "Qinghuan." Jia Chen's eyes reddened the moment he saw her. "Mom and Dad have ignored me for days. I truly do not know what to do. You are the only one I can turn to." Clearly, Mr. and Mrs. Jia were overwhelmed. With no time to spare for Jia Chen, Shen Qinghuan's voice was weary too. "What do you want from me?" "A promise, of course." Jia Chen looked at her anxiously. "You are not really going to be like Mom and Dad, now that you know Wen Nian's adoptive parents are the Wen family, and choose him over me too, are you? When exactly are you divorcing Wen Nian?" Jia Chen was genuinely terrified. He had thought that once he drove me away, he would have won completely. He never expected my adoptive parents to wield such immense power. Now Father and Mother Jia did not want anything to do with him. If Shen Qinghuan abandoned him too, he would truly be finished. At the word divorce, Shen Qinghuan's expression changed. "Wen Nian and I are not officially divorced yet. Do not say such nonsense." With that, she turned to leave. But Jia Chen cried out in despair. "Just like Mom and Dad, you only care about the Wen family behind Wen Nian. How can you do this to me? Have you forgotten who, at the hunting grounds, saved you from the bottom of that cliff?" Jia Chen demanded, his voice torn with anguish. Guilt flickered in Shen Qinghuan's eyes. But when she heard Jia Chen's last words, she froze, then looked up at him. "What did you say? At the hunting grounds, you rescued me from the bottom of a cliff?" Jia Chen said, his eyes red. "Yes. Is there a problem?" Shen Qinghuan narrowed her eyes. "But I was unconscious in a cave." Jia Chen suddenly went rigid. When Shen Qinghuan was trapped at the hunting grounds, I had rushed in despite the danger, and rescued her alone. But while I was unconscious, Jia Chen claimed all the credit for himself. Jia Chen did not actually know what had happened in the mountains. He had no idea. It was only because the doctor had said Shen Qinghuan had obvious injuries from a fall that Jia Chen simply assumed I had rescued Shen Qinghuan from the bottom of a cliff. He desperately tried to patch up his lie. But who was Shen Qinghuan? A woman who controlled a business empire. She was not someone so easily fooled. She narrowed her eyes. She asked coldly, "That day in the mountains, did you encounter any wild animals?" Jia Chen truly did not dare meet Shen Qinghuan's eyes. He mumbled, "No. There were none." The last trace of warmth vanished from Shen Qinghuan's eyes. Though she had been unconscious then, she remembered hearing wolves howl and gunshots. Before this, Shen Qinghuan had been moved by the belief that Jia Chen saved her and consumed by guilt. But thinking back now, she finally realized that with Jia Chen's riding and hunting skills, there was no way he could have saved her from wolves. But if it was not Jia Chen, then who was it? An answer surfaced in her mind. Shen Qinghuan grabbed Jia Chen. Jia Chen, she said coldly. Her usual gentleness was gone from her voice. It was filled with icy menace. You know, I hate being lied to more than anything. I will give you one last chance. The person who saved me from the hunting grounds. Who was it? Jia Chen had never seen Shen Qinghuan exert such terrifying pressure. Panicking, he blurted out. It was when Nian. When Nian was the one who saved you from the hunting grounds. Shen Qinghuan felt all strength drained from her body. She staggered back a step. At the same time, Shen Qinghuan's assistant nearby had overheard Jia Chen's conversation with Shen Qinghuan and promptly contacted the hunting grounds. After only a few calls, he uncovered the truth. He said quietly, Miss Shen, I have confirmed it. The one who rescued you from the hunting grounds that day was indeed your husband, and there is more. Your husband encountered a wolf pack while saving you. He suffered several wolf bites. Shen Qinghuan trembled. Wolves had actually bitten him? No wonder, after he returned from the hunting grounds that day, he looked so pale. Yet he never said a word. Was it because he did not feel pain? Of course not. It was because he knew that no matter how much it hurt this time, Mr. and Mrs. Jia would never show him even a shred of concern. At that thought, Shen Qinghuan felt her heart clenched in a merciless grip. Without a moment's hesitation, she turned and left. Only then did Jia Chen come to his senses. He shouted, Shen Qinghuan, where are you going? I am telling you, if you dare go to Wen Nian, then never see me again for the rest of your life. Shen Qinghuan finally stopped. Hope lit Jia Chen's eyes. He thought she had wavered. But the next second, then we will never meet again. She delivered those words coldly. Without looking back, she walked away. Shen Qinghuan rushed to find me. She had not sought me out before, because she wanted to stabilize the company first. After all, she did not want the Wen family to think she was incompetent. But now that she knew the truth, she could no longer restrain herself. She needed to see me at once. But I truly did not want to see her. She was frantic. And not just her. Shen Qinghuan's parents were frantic too. I told you long ago, you should have treated Wen Nian better. If you had treated him better, why would he have divorced you? If you had had a child sooner, he would have been even less likely to leave you. A child? Shen Qinghuan froze. Then something suddenly occurred to her. Her eyes lit up. That is right. The child. How had she forgotten? Shen Qinghuan hurried to the hospital. She found the doctor who had handled our in vitro fertilization treatment. Doctor, she asked bluntly, what happened to the embryos when Nian and I created? I want to get pregnant now. Only then did Shen Qinghuan remember that she and I had embryos created through in vitro fertilization. Though it was only an embryo, it was still our child. If she became pregnant with that embryo, I would surely change my mind. But when the doctor heard Shen Qinghuan, he looked uncomfortable. Your husband has already disposed of all the embryos. What did you say? Only then did Shen Qinghuan's face change. The doctor hesitantly explained what had happened that day. Afterward, he hurriedly defended himself. President Shen, it is not that I did not want to tell you. Your husband bought our hospital outright. I had no choice but to obey him. I did not dare tell you. The doctor desperately tried to defend himself. But Shen Qinghuan could no longer hear a word. She staggered back a step. At last, she understood. I had wanted a divorce even then. But why? Why had he suddenly become so determined to leave me? Finally, she could endure it no longer. She came to my hotel's entrance. She waited for 3 days and 3 nights. On the day my group and I were leaving China, she finally found us. When Mr. and Mrs. Wen saw Shen Qinghuan, Mr. and Mrs. Wen immediately moved to call the bodyguards. But I stopped them. I walked over. Her face was haggard, and her eyes were bloodshot. When Shen Qinghuan saw me, she rasped, Can we reconcile? I promise you, I will treat you well from now on. Please do not leave me, all right? Over the past few days, Shen Qinghuan had thought about many things. About why I wanted to divorce her. The only reason she could think of was that she had remained chaste for Jia Chen. We had been married for 3 years, yet we had never had any marital intimacy. For a man, that truly was unbearable. So, she wanted to tell me herself. that she would treat me well from now on, and share my bed. She also believed that if she showed me her sincerity, I would surely return to her. After all, she knew how deeply I loved her, better than anyone. So she said, I promise you, from now on, every day, I will. Enough. Before Shen Qinghuan could finish, I cut her off coldly. I looked at the woman before me. Her expression was utterly ridiculous. Shen Qinghuan, do you really think I cannot live without a woman? Shen Qinghuan froze. I continued coldly. Let me tell you, I proposed to you before, because I loved you then. But now, I do not love you anymore. Those few short words were like a knife, stabbing deeply into Shen Qinghuan's heart. Her fingers clenched unconsciously. Impossible. You cannot stop loving me. After years of marriage, Shen Qinghuan knew better than anyone how devoted I had been to her. I would spend whole nights simmering her favorite soup. I would spend months making something by hand, just to carve her a birthday gift. How could someone like that possibly not love her? When Nian, stop lying to me, Qinghuan said. If you did not love me, then at the hunting grounds that day, why did you risk your life to save me? That was right. Even at this moment, Shen Qinghuan remained convinced that I had divorced her, only because she had treated me terribly, perhaps partly out of spite. As long as she treated me well, she could surely win me back. But unexpectedly, when I heard that, I gave another cold laugh. Yes, that day, at the hunting grounds, I did save you. I spoke coldly, but I only did it to repay the life you saved. Shen Qinghuan's face went rigid. I continued coldly. When I was kidnapped years ago, you saved me. So I had thought, you saved me once, and I would save you once. That would settle the debt between us. A mocking curve touched my lips. But unexpectedly, that kidnapping had been nothing but a lie. I never truly owed you anything. Only then did Shen Qinghuan's expression change. When Nian, you knew all along. I cut Shen Qinghuan off coldly. I looked at Shen Qinghuan. At last, I asked the question I wanted to ask most. Shen Qinghuan, what did I ever do wrong? Shen Qinghuan looked at me, at my icy expression. In that moment, she felt as though her heart had been torn to pieces. No. When Nian, listen to me. She opened her mouth to explain, but could not utter a single word. I could not be bothered to look at her again. I know that before I came, you and Chen, and my biological parents, were all living well. It was my arrival that shattered your perfect lives. I spoke calmly. I no longer hate you. I no longer resent you either. Now I am leaving. Everything can return to how it was. Is that not what you wanted? After saying that, I did not spare Shen Qinghuan another glance. I turned and left. When Nian, Shen Qinghuan tried to chase after me, but her feet felt weighted with lead. She could not move at all. In the end, her assistant could no longer stand by. Her assistant could not help but ask, President Shen, why did you not tell Mr. Wen the truth about what happened back then? Shen Qinghuan spoke numbly. What truth? The assistant said anxiously. The truth about the kidnapping. You initially plotted that kidnapping. But later, you were truly badly injured while saving him. As for that kidnapping years ago, very few people knew the truth. Even Shen Qinghuan's closest friends believed that Shen Qinghuan had truly orchestrated the kidnapping. But it was not that simple. At first, Shen Qinghuan had indeed planned a fake kidnapping. But something went wrong midway. A group of real kidnappers learned of her plan and hijacked it. They took down all the fake kidnappers and truly abducted Chen and me. So, when Chen's parents later chose Chen and left, I was in real danger. Those vicious kidnappers truly intended to kill me. When Shen Qinghuan learned what had happened, she disregarded her own life, rushed into the kidnappers' hideout, and was stabbed 3 times. She nearly gave her life to rescue me. Thinking back to those events, Shen Qinghuan drifted into a brief daze. Over the years, she had asked herself more than once why she had risked her life to save me. She always told herself it was because the whole thing had been her plan. If I had truly died because of her plan, she would have felt guilty for the rest of her life and could never face the Shen or Jia families again. But deep down, Shen Qinghuan knew that was not the real reason. When she went to save me, she had rushed in without thinking. There was only one thought in her mind. She could not let any harm come to me. Shen Qinghuan was dazed for a moment. Perhaps, even then, she had already fallen in love with me. Now, at this very moment, Shen Qinghuan was finally willing to admit her true feelings. When I first returned to China, She truly could not stand me. I was a man who had suddenly appeared, taking Jia Chen's place, and somehow becoming her fiancé. At first, she agreed to marry me, only because of pressure from her parents. Her original plan was to marry me, then divorce me after a year or two. That way, she could satisfy her parents and avenge Jia Chen. But when had her feelings begun to change? Was it when she pretended to pursue me and watched me blush as I softly thanked her? Or was it the first time she kissed me? She thought she was winning me over, but without realizing it, she gave me her heart instead. That was why, when she learned I had truly been kidnapped, she was more frantic than anyone. That was why, on the day she married me, she was happier than anyone. That was why, throughout their 3-year marriage, though she had already taken control of the entire Shen family and could have divorced me at any time, she kept putting it off. Shen Qinghuan had fallen in love with me long ago. She simply refused to admit it, because on the day she married me, Jia Chen attempted suicide. When she arrived, Jia Chen pleaded with red-rimmed eyes, asking her to make him a promise. Even if she married me, she must never sleep with me. Looking at the man before her, the man she had once believed she loved for years, Shen Qinghuan gave him that promise. Shen Qinghuan had always kept her word. Since she had made a promise to Jia Chen, she had to keep it. So even after they married, there were many times when she could barely restrain herself, yet she still would not let me touch her. To keep herself from giving in, she deliberately pushed me away. She treated me coldly. All of it completely destroyed our relationship. At that thought, Shen Qinghuan felt something rise through her chest, the metallic taste of blood surging up her throat. At last, she could not hold it back. She coughed up a mouthful of blood. Miss Shen Qinghuan was rushed in for test. The results shocked everyone. Shen Qinghuan had cancer. The cancer was extremely difficult to detect. By the time it was found, it was already terminal. The doctor looked grave. Miss Shen, for this cancer, the best treatment available now is stem cell therapy. Ideally, you would have a child of your own. During the pregnancy, we can collect stem cells to treat you. Do not worry. It will not affect the child's health in any way. Shen Qinghuan froze. Beside her were Shen Qinghuan's parents, who had already arrived, as well as Jia Chen. The instant Jia Chen learned Shen Qinghuan was terminally ill, he nearly lost his mind. He forgot all about their earlier argument and blurted out, "Have my child." Jia Chen gripped Shen Qinghuan's hand tightly. "Shen Qinghuan, you do not have to marry me, and you do not have to promise me anything. Just have a child to save your life." This time, Jia Chen meant every word. They had been childhood sweethearts. Though he was full of schemes, his feelings for Shen Qinghuan were sincere. As long as it could save her, he would do anything. But unexpectedly, Shen Qinghuan coldly pulled her hand away. "I will not." Jia Chen's face instantly turned white. Shen Qinghuan's parents broke down in tears. "Qinghuan, this is no time for this. Stop being so stubborn." Jia Chen came back to his senses as well. Tears welled uncontrollably in his eyes. "Still," he said, "Qinghuan, I know you hate me now. Fine, do not have a child with me. Then find another man. Even in vitro fertilization would be fine, as long as having your child can save you." "I will not." But unexpectedly, Shen Qinghuan answered without hesitation again. She said coldly, "My child can only be when Nian's." Jia Chen's face went deathly pale. Shen Qinghuan looked up at the assistant beside her. "Go abroad and tell Wen Nian that I am sick. Tell him that unless he agrees to have a child with me, I will never accept treatment." The next day, abroad, I had just gotten up when my adoptive mother suddenly came in. Her expression was complicated. I looked up. "Mom, what happened?" My adoptive mother hesitated, then softly said, "Back in China, Shen Qinghuan has something. She asked me to tell you." I froze. But the next second, I said without hesitation, "I do not want to hear it." My adoptive mother's gaze flickered. "Wen Nian, are you sure?" To be honest, when my adoptive mother first learned that Shen Qinghuan had a message from me, she'd wanted to refuse at once. But when she heard Shen Qinghuan's message, she was stunned too. She never expected Shen Qinghuan to be terminally ill. Even less did she expect that woman to be so ruthless, saying that unless I returned to her side, she would refuse stem cell therapy. She was trying to corner me with guilt. She was using it to threaten me. My adoptive mother had not wanted to tell me any of this, but a life was at stake. She feared I might regret it if I learned the truth later. So she decided to tell me. She said, "These words concern Shen Qinghuan's life. Are you sure you do not want to hear them?" But unexpectedly, I did not hesitate at all. I do not want to hear it, I said flatly. Even if she dies, it has nothing to do with me. I was not saying that out of cold-heartedness, nor was I speaking out of anger. I was simply telling the truth. The moment I decided to leave China, I had already decided to have nothing more to do with Shen Qinghuan. So no matter what happened to her, I did not want to know. My adoptive mother was taken aback. Then she smiled in relief. Good. I knew my son would not be so spineless. As she spoke, my adoptive mother had no intention of telling me anything more about Shen Qinghuan. She merely walked to the door and said coldly, "Go back and tell Shen Qinghuan. My son is not a tool to cure her illness. If she wants to save herself, she can find someone else. Do not use threats against my son." To me, this matter was like a pebble falling into a lake. After a few ripples, it left no trace. Half a year passed. A lot happened. The Jia family went bankrupt. Jia Chen's parents became impoverished ordinary people. After they went bankrupt, Jia Chen showed his true colors. He was no longer the obedient young man he had seemed to be. Only then did his parents understand. What Jia Chen had been unwilling to give up was never them, his parents. It was only the Jia family's money. They regretted it bitterly, but life offers no cure for regret. Meanwhile, the Shen family did not go bankrupt, but it was badly weakened. One day, Shen Qinghuan's lawyer suddenly came to see me. I originally thought there was some unresolved division of property from the marriage, but the lawyer got straight to the point. "Mr. Wen, Miss Shen has passed away. Before her death, she stated that she wanted to leave her entire estate to you." I was completely stunned. Shen Qinghuan was dead. A cemetery in China. I looked at Shen Qinghuan in the black and white photograph on her tombstone, my heart full of mixed feelings. I never expected that after our parting half a year ago, when we met again, we would be separated by life and death. Seeing me like this, my adoptive mother beside me could not help but speak. "Wen Nian, do you blame me? Shen Qinghuan did send someone to find you back then. She said that unless you agreed to have a child with her, otherwise, she would refuse stem cell therapy. But you said then that you did not care whether she lived or died. So I took it upon myself not to tell you any of this. If you want to blame me." I finally came back to myself. I smiled at my adoptive mother. "Mom, what are you talking about? You made everything clear back then. I was the one who said it. Even if Shen Qinghuan died, it would have nothing to do with me. So this was not your choice. It was mine." My adoptive mother's eyes trembled. "If I had told you then, even if you had told me what Shen Qinghuan said then, I would not have saved her," I said calmly. "After all, her life was her own. It cannot be used as shackles to trap me." It turned out, Shen Qinghuan had kept her word. After I refused to have a child with her, she rejected every possible treatment. Without stem cell therapy, she did not even last 6 months. And after learning all this, I felt neither regret nor guilt. Perhaps to others, Shen Qinghuan's actions seemed deeply devoted, but I saw nothing but emotional blackmail. Maybe Shen Qinghuan truly loved me, but love that comes too late is cheaper than dirt. Her actions before her death alone made me sick. Just because she loved me, was she entitled to use her life as a threat, forcing me back to her side? Then use a child conceived not from love at all, as shackles, to bind me to her for life. That is not love. It is pure selfishness. Even in the end, Shen Qinghuan used her death to try to bind me for life. I looked down at the woman in the photograph. That was just like her. Even in death, she thought only of herself. But she was wrong. Guilt would not bind me. Because when I left China, I had already become indifferent to her. Even her death would change nothing. So I turned and walked away, without a moment's hesitation. Shen Qinghuan's estate, donate it all to charity. I do not want anything of hers. As for Jia Chen, I heard that after Shen Qinghuan died, he grieved for a time. But life is not only about love. In the end, he found a wealthy older woman and became her lover. Unfortunately for him, the woman's husband was ruthless. He had Jia Chen's face ruined. Jia Chen had nowhere left to turn. He eventually fell gravely ill and died. In a single year, people and circumstances had changed beyond recognition. My life finally returned to its proper course. At last, I was living the life I wanted. From now on, the world lies open before me. My life